Hello. Hello. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and let people join on in. I am going to just make sure everything's all set up here. Beautiful thing. Okay, cool. We look to be set. Cool. Alrighty. So my name is Ryan Prescott, and I am the founder and owner of the Truth Movement. Today we're going to be talking about why you feel scared to talk to people. This can be a very, very daunting subject, talking to people that you don't know. And sometimes you're like, oh, where do I start? Where do I begin? Whatever, right? Well, we're going to go over that. Why do you feel scared to talk to people? We're going to be going over that very briefly, really. Let's go over the first part. Okay, cool. So we're going to be going over what is called the ARC triangle. Basically, that means we're going to be going over affinity, reality, and communication. These are three parts that you didn't know exist. And this is what's lacking. This is why you are scared to talk to people, right? What is preventing you from talking to people? What is preventing you to making friends, having a great communication or a great relationship with your family, or maybe even your classmate and college or whatever, fellow students. Let's find out, right? So this triangle looks like this. Okay, so the top is communication, and then the bottom two is reality and affinity. And altogether, they make up understanding. Okay? So there's a triangle of considerable importance, and an ability to use it gives a much greater understanding of life. The ARC triangle is the keystone of living associations. This triangle is the common denominator to all of life's activities. The first corner of the triangle is called affinity. The basic definition of affinity is a consideration of distance, whether good or bad. Also, the word affinity is here used to mean love, liking, or any other emotional attitude. Affinity is conceived in Scientology to be something of many facets. Affinity is a variable quality. Affinity is here used as a word with the context degree of liking. So, affinity. Now, let's go ahead and just touch on that for a second. Have you ever loved a dog? Right? Have you ever had a high degree of liking for a dog or an animal in general? Well, that's affinity. You like that. That's your degree of likingness towards something, right? Degree of likingness towards that animal. Super cute, fluffy. You like to play with, you like to play with it, goes fetches toys, whatever, right? That's cool, right? So that's one of the parts. Okay, the second part is reality. So the second corner of the triangle is reality. Now, reality could be defined as that which appears to be. Reality is fundamentally agreement. What we agree to be real is real. Now, I could say, well, let's see. I could say that we could all trying to come up with something, off the walls, right, to show you. So, like, I could say all walls are made of styrofoam, and you're like, whoa, that's not true, right? That doesn't give us agreement. So we can't communicate about it because we don't agree with it. You wouldn't agree with me, and I wouldn't agree with you, because you would think that walls are made of whatever you think they are, right? If I believe that walls are made of styrofoam, you would think I'm crazy, and that's just how it rolls, right? So you wouldn't really necessarily want to hang out with me or have relations or any sort of relations with me because you'd think I'm crazy. So the third corner of the triangle is communication. In understanding the composition of human relations in this universe, communication is more important than the other two corners of the triangle. Communication is the solvent for all things. Right? Okay, so now, The interrelationship of the triangle becomes apparent at once when one asks, have you ever tried to talk to an angry man? Without a high degree of liking and without some basis of agreement, there is no communication. Without communication and some basis of emotional response, there can be no reality. Without some basis for agreement and communication, there can be no affinity. Thus, we call these three things a triangle. Unless we have two corners of a triangle, there cannot be a third corner. Desiring any corner of the triangle, one must include the other two. All right, so why are you scared to talk to people? Well, you can't communicate with that person because you don't have a degree of liking with that person. You don't know what you guys agree on. If you guys sat down, or maybe even you just met the person at a grocery store and you said, hey, I really like your purse today. I really like the purse that you have on, or I really like the shoes that you're wearing, that would start a conversation, because the other person would be like, hey, I really like the shirt you're wearing, or, hey, I really like your haircut, whatever. Right. And you guys would have a degree of liking this now for the things that you have. And also you might even be like, oh, hey, I really like this brand of clothing. And you're like, oh, I do too. They're just amazing, and then that other person goes, yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, they are. See, then you guys have, your agreement is up, right? Your agreement level's up. Your communication is, of course, up. Therefore, your degree of likingness to the other person goes up. Okay? You're scared because you don't have those three things. You don't know how you can communicate with others. That's the trick. It's so easy. You just go up to somebody and you point out what you like about that person. You communicate. You communicate what you like about that person. Hey, say, walking down the street, you go, hey, look, I really like your car. And the person's like, oh, I like that. I like my car too. I like Mustangs. Do you like Mustangs? I like Mustangs. Oh, that's great. Why do you like them? And that's a conversation. And then you guys will develop a friendship if it all goes right. Right? So then there you have more friends. And then your fear kind of goes off because you feel confident about yourself. You can talk to people. Being scared about something is one thing, right? But communicating with others doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be scary. It's made to look scary because you don't know the tools to help you communicate with others successfully. So that's something you should keep in mind. Really think about and use today. Go out and use it. Talk to your neighbor. Mention something that you like about his property, or maybe you like how he's nice to you all the time, or she's nice to you all the time, or maybe you like that she keeps your lawn nice and tidy. That's great, or she washes your car or whatever, you develop your own interests, whatever you're interested in. And a person can't really force that interest on you. So, or you can't force your interest onto somebody else, because we all have different interests. We all can agree to disagree, but what if we all agreed on something? That would change everything. What I'm reading today is from, what I'm referring to today is from a book called Scientology, The Fundamentals of Thought. Now, this book goes over communication, goes over all of the points of communication. And also, if you've heard of narcissism, right? If you've heard of narcissism, this actually goes over why there's narcissists, around, because they're one person, they're like about themselves, right? This will show you that, narcissism, narcissists tend to not know this information. They're all about themselves. If you just read this book, right, and you just went into the aspects of life, that's what they go over. It's not just one. You can't just always think about yourself. There's so many different aspects of your life that you don't know that you have, or maybe you do, but you should totally read up on it, because you'll love it. You'll love it. You'll like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had 8 different aspects of my life. Wow. Boom, right? It's a nice game. And you can communicate with all of them. You can get better understanding of them. Affinity, reality, and communication brings about understanding. So it brings about understanding for somebody that you're meeting on the street, in the grocery store, whatever. It develops understanding. So how would that apply to your other aspects of life? That's pretty cool. So that's something you should think with. There's so many different things you can do with this information. And I'd like to help you with that. So if you can go ahead and reach out to me, I'd love to help you. I actually have some free information I can give you, and I can help you along the way and really make sure that you're making friends and you're living the best life that you can. Thank you so much for attending. I know this is pretty short, but this is how simple this tool is. I don't have hours. I don't need to spend hours with you. You get it right away. So thank you so much for attending. If you do have any questions, comments, whatever, please do leave them in the comment section. Even after the live, I'll be responding to them. And also just message me on any platform. Hey, thanks so much, guys. Super appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next live. Bye.